Oh.
Yeah.
And I got to...
Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits.
Just in time.
Don't stress out about it. It kind of adds to it there, buddy.
Here you go, Jeffrey.
Good morning. Coming to you live from Acts Media Group headquarters here to Beautiful Springfield, Missouri. Here's the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay with your host, Matt and Jay. Hey, Steve. Today's title, This World Has Gone Nuts. Which reminds me to pray for Steve, folks. Next Tuesday, he's going under the knife.
That's right. Lots of prayer there, and I'm going to need lots of pillows sitting on this chair.
You're going to need like a horseshoe pillow.
Yes.
Very special pillow.
The pillow. Jeffrey did a good job on that.
Yeah, he did. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
My name is Steve.
We're glad to have everybody with you today. For some reason, I'm going to start calling that puppet Jeremy from now on. From now on.
Jeremiah, I mean?
No, Jeremy.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
He needs a new name
He
anyway.
needs a new name. How old is he?
He's about 7. He acts like he's 25, but he's only 7.
Good morning, Jeremiah. It's Philip Schultz. Steve McAllister.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Speaking of Jeremiah,
Hey, all right.
he's not on my watch party, but that's okay. I'm glad you're on board.
All right. So let's see what we got here. What?
Oh, I thought that was his phone. I was like,
That's
did he
weird.
turn on
That
his phone?
phone is
But that was
weird.
it.
Good morning.
Beautiful day. Day one of the diet, day one of the health program that I
The
started
health
yesterday.
program.
You remember, it's not a diet.
No,
it's a
because the
health
point
program.
of it is to teach you how to portion your meals.
And to change your
And
eating habits.
and the
know-
lifestyle.
and to be able to identify foods that are just inherently bad for you.
Yeah, choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice lifestyle choice.
Because I'm telling you, I feel really good right now. I mean, I'm a little sleepy. This is the first bit of coffee I've had, and I was so full of energy when I got to work last night. And I asked my health coach, his Mike Krimper. I asked him, is it possible to start feeling bursts of energy like right away? He said it's possible, but usually that it's like 3 to 4 days before you start feeling really good.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
But I mean, like I said, I was eating so unhealthily that just not eating that unhealthily for the first,
Just cutting the unhealthy stuff out. 'cause
Probably.
it goes into your bloodstream.
well, yeah, and then usually by the time I get to work, my insulin levels are probably all whacked out because the bowl of ice cream I ate before I went to bed.
So the
Yeah.
difference
Bowl
is
of
what
ice cream.
it's
Oh.
not about the difference in what you are doing now. It's what you're not doing now that you're probably feeling
Well, that and the
so
fact that I don't
quick a difference.
feel loaded up with stuff in my gut,
Yeah.
and that actually, it weighs you down. Were you gonna say something?
I was just going to say good morning, Stacy.
Good morning, Stacy Whittaking.
Yes,
Um,
and Bruno.
Now, I thought that I was over 350 pounds. I'm pleased to announce that I'm only 320 pounds.
See, that's good that you were really wrong.
I haven't weighed myself
on
in
the other side.
in a couple of years. I haven't weighed myself, because it would depress me if I don't lose enough weight. It makes me sad.
Right.
But I'm excited about this. I can't wait to see how well it works.
We could see a new man in the next 6 months.
Yeah, like literally. I might have to buy all new clothes.
That'll be fun.
I
Yeah.
can make some tapestries out of my jeans, to cover
you
up
go.
windows.
Hey, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Make curtains.
Yeah.
Jean curtains.
Yeah. That sounds like a weird Vegas performer's name.
It does sound like Gene Curtains.
Jean Curtains.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the insert name here, Jean Curtains.
Yeah.
Give it up for Jean Curtains.
What a funny man.
Like a Price is Right host
Yeah.
name.
Come on down.
Or the Family Feud.
Thanks, Gene.
And Johnny, what did he win today?
A brand new pair of pants.
Woohoo!
You guys ready for this?
Here, Gene Curtin.
We sound kind of like coffee canish there, don't
Give
we?
it up for Gene
Little bit.
Curtins.
That,
What a funny man.
Like a Price is Right.
that sounds a little,
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know.
It does. It sounds like we're talking into a coffee can.
Could be the tapestry.
No, it sounds like that all the time. I don't know.
It
I think
does?
it's because
Oh,
I-
it does always sound like that?
I didn't think
I
it
think
did.
I know why. I think I know why. I
Do
think
you
I
know why?
Z.
Try something. I don't want to sound like we're in a coffee can.
Well, I don't want to sound like I'm in a coffee can either.
I don't either.
How about that? I don't
Wow.
know what you did, but it's better already.
Yeah, I can tell. Actually,
'Cause-
I can.
I can't tell any difference at all.
Seriously, I can tell a little bit.
It's like I can't tell you. I feel better already.
Yeah.
I can't tell a difference at all.
What'd you do?
I played with the levels.
Well, I don't want to sound like I'm in a coffee can either.
I don't either.
How about that? I
Wow.
don't know what you did, but it's better already.
Yeah, I can tell. Actually, I can.
I can't tell any difference at all.
Maybe we need to turn the mids down and the highs up or something.
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 Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, Jeremiah U-Man, Steve Schultz,
Good morning, Steve.
JB Cobb,
Who's that?
Who is that?
Susan Burrows.
Susan Burrows.
We're having a good time today. It's Friday. It's casual Friday.
And my friend Jared Story, he's like, it's casual, no mask Friday.
That'll be casual, no pants Friday.
No mask.
Oh, no mask. I went to a well-known guitar store the other day, and it was the first time anybody's ever forced me to wear a mask going in.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
and you have
Did
to
they
wait
have
outside.
one for you?
Yeah, well, he said, well, I mean, I've done a lot of business with them
Yeah.
because they've had to fix my guitars, both of them, and my guitar is one of them's currently there now.
The Martin.
The Martin.
Martin.
And he says, "Oh, I got one for you." He went inside, and he said, "I have a little bit left of my daily allotment." So I'm like, "Well, good, because I wouldn't be able to come in here without that." I guess I could have went out to my car and got a T-shirt and just tied it around my face.
Hey, there's a lot of people
saw
being
a
very
guy-
inventive.
I saw a guy in there with a it was a mask, but it was crocheted. I could see his mouth.
You know
You know what I'm
people are
talking
being-
about? Like an Afghan.
They're being very inventive nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
It's like wiping before you poop. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
So it's like
How's that going to filter anything?
It's
other
not
than-
going. It's not going to.
Right. That's what that's my point.
It'll
How's
just
it
give a
gonna
little,
filter?
just some cool little bridges for the bacteria to stand on and go. It looks really nice out here.
With some give to
Yeah, with
get
some
a
give.
longer jump,
Yeah.
like squirrels. Like
You
a
know,
squirrel.
I saw a video where a guy. I mean, he had so many squirrels in his backyard. He set up an obstacle course to
I
get
saw
them to
that
their
too.
favorite bird feeder. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was
What?
awesome.
And it was
was so cool.
And he set up this obstacle course,
And he
making sure.
named the squirrels.
Yes, name them. What's
Fat
Wow.
Larry. or
Fat
something.
Larry.
Yeah.
Fat Larry was my
Turned out to
favorite.
be a female, a pregnant female.
So funny, and just watching them figure that stuff out.
It
It's
was
amazing.
funny.
Yeah, and and then they finally got through all of it, and then all the pecans. It was walnuts.
Walnuts.
Shelled walnuts dropped, and then they'd run off.
They ran the whole course backwards.
Yes, and it's
Instead of just jumping down.
supposed to
the
look
ground.
like that Ninja Warrior course, and some of it came from other shows like Wipeout and stuff like that. And then the catapult was my favorite.
Oh yeah.
I like how he broke it down and did the math. He's like
Yeah.
the science of how squirrels always land on their feet,
Yeah, what they do.
like cats. And he showed a video in slow motion because one of them catapulted and there was a net.
Two of 'em did.
Well, yeah, the
I
one
gotta
that I
see this. Is this on YouTube or something?
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I gotta
and it
check it out.
catapulted this thing, and you can see him doing this right here. But he looks, and there's a straight line from where his eyes look. His eyes never lose that spot as his
Yeah.
whole body turns around, and he lands on his feet. And from midair, they do the math. That's what he says. They do the math real quick and find out where they're going to land, and they land there. I mean, squirrels
Wow.
are amazing creatures.
Yep.
Wow. No, they eat Dorito chips.
They also
really
eat
anything.
nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, they
Squirrels
do.
do eat nuts.
Yeah. Is your surgeon's last name Squirrel? That would be funny.
No pun
That
intended.
one, Dr. Squirrel.
Dr. Squirrel. Hey, Dr. Squirrel.
I'd be like,
You've
Wait a
got a nutty job.
That's- you don't have any nut allergies, do you?
Oh, they're going to be coming like crazy now. I'm in trouble.
Oh, the jokes.
Yeah. Stacy, I'm doing okay. How are you guys doing? She wanted to know how you guys were doing.
good.
Steve Schultz wants to know if you were going to friend request him again.
I can.
Yeah,
I mean, I did
'cause
already, but I
it's-
don't mind doing it again.
Did you friend request Philip Schultz or Steve Schultz?
Steve Schultz.
It's Philip Schultz.
It is Philip Schultz.
Felipe
Steve Schultz
Schultzy.
doesn't know who you are because we don't know who he is.
We know he's a short guy that used to be on our show all the time.
Mic
That's Philip Schultz.
That's Philip Schultz and Steve Schultz.
Okay, well, there's why.
But
the
he's
twins.
not on Facebook as Steve Schultz.
No, he's on there as Philip Schultz.
Philip, yeah.
Okay,
They are with dumplings.
So you sent a friend request to
What's that
somebody
mean?
that has no idea who you are.
that's probably why it is.
But he knows he watches. He watches the show every day.
Steve Schultz?
Oh yeah, you did. No, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. So he's like, "Who's this guy?
Yes.
What?
What are you talking about? This guy's weird."
Yeah.
Mike Krimper, how you doing? He's my
Hey,
health
Mike.
coach and friend, and he's also a friend of Axe Ministry.
And a friend of mine.
Him and his wife, his lovely wife.
Hey,
Heidi.
Heidi and Mike. How are you, buddy?
You guys would do the same thing if you were hungry. No, it's true.
The obstacle course?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
I do know-
Catapult,
I'd almost prefer to do that to eat.
I
But
do know
see-
one thing.
I don't know if I'd catapult and end up in the same spot though, or I just,
Oh, you'd pull it off.
I do
You
know.
gotta
one-
watch the squirrels first. You get the technique, and
Right.
then when you're flying through the air, it all comes to you.
okay.
It's like
So I'm listening. I'm going to listen to the sound on my earbud right
so
here.
when you don't want to rotate, you
Right.
spread your arms like a skater.
yeah,
So if you're flipping through the air, right?
right.
If you curl up into a ball, you're going to spin faster. So if you need to get spun around to get in the right position to land, you tuck into a ball a little bit. It spins you a little faster, but you're also keeping your eye on that spot you want to land, so you see it coming, and you probably have to make a few mistakes,
Yeah,
like you'll overspin.
yeah.
yeah, and,
And you have to
probably
go-
end up with a body gash by the time I'm done.
Imagine Steve. We'll be wheeling Steve in on a table.
I'll be coming in a body cast.
We'll have Steve.
Hi
And
guys.
he was talking about how squirrels are one of those creatures that can survive a fall from literally any height.
Any height, yeah.
Because it spreads itself out almost flat and becomes like its own parachute, and it pushes its tail straight out and causes the wind resistance to slow their fall. So you learn
Except
a lot
in
about
space. It doesn't work in space.
no.
the
no.
final frontier.
So if you catapult them into outer space,
Yeah, there's
they'll be
there's-
like, whoa.
well,
what's
as their
going
blood
on here?
boils and they explode. Have you
Matt,
have you seen that video of them talking to astronauts after they came down from being at the space station for like 6 months, and they're sitting there talking and they're holding their cup up and then they just let it go and drop and
do they really?
yeah. They were talking about getting acclimated back into
I guess so.
gravity.
I gotta see this. Where do you see these?
Bloop.
Just
Cup drop.
I'm trying to see.
Cup drop. Well,
yeah.
darn it, that didn't work.
All right, so hold on. I'm doing stuff to the sound.
I'm glad you took the headphones off first.
Yeah.
Oh man, the way things are going, I'm.
Do we have an
surprised you
extra
remembered.
mic on?
No, it's just
Okay.
got some sort of weird tinny echoey.
Echoey thing?
Uh huh.
Well, it happens. It's Friday.
It is Friday. Sounds pretty good now.
Yeah, it's got that muffle.
Yeah.
sound.
It sounded pretty good.
When I say
still
muffle,
can't
it's
hear a
got the crisp. It's crisp.
the crisp
Well,
muffle.
The crisp.
I heard some on my headphones. I heard some distortion.
Did you hear
Distortion.
voices in your head?
Oh, I always hear voices in my head. So it's Friday.
Hi there.
Next Friday, They're not raffles. It is an online auction that we are
Yes,
having.
and we got to remember to say not raffle, but it's auction items. Thank you for reminding me this morning.
Yeah, it's good to remind people. Oh, that's way better. Way better.
Yes,
I can't hear it.
I can tell the difference now.
What'd you do?
Well, I turned some of the because when we talk loud, it's pretty distorted in here. And I probably could stand to turn it down a little bit more. So what I'm doing is I'm turning it down on the board and up on the computer.
Makes sense.
Because I like our sound to be good.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
We want people to hear us and hear us well.
yeah.
We
We
want to
wanna
be
be
able to
well
hear
heard.
ourselves. We want to be able to hear ourselves well.
We want to speak and be heard.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a course you can take on Jennifer Tracy's website. She has one. What is it called? Do you know who that is?
Oh, I know who it is, but I don't.
She's got a mental health website where you
Yeah.
can. It's really great. I mean, I only took one. Not even a course. I just took the first lesson, and it was really helpful. It was called "Listen and Be Heard."
That sounds great.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm listening to it and it's so much better.
Oh, you listened to it here? I thought you were going to play it over the thing so we could hear it.
Oh, I'm going to.
Because we heard the tinny. I heard the tinny before
Yeah, and it's
I
weird.
did.
when you
And, that,
played
and
it.
that's where the tunnel
All
part
right.
comes in, is that
All right.
tinny.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And it was really helpful.
Oh, well, yeah, that's low.
It was called Listen and Be Heard.
How about now?
Wait a minute.
Can you hear it now?
that sounds great.
If
Yeah.
I talk like
And it
this.
sounds
I'm
different on
listening to it, and
Facebook.
it's so much better.
Oh, you
It's
listened
so
to
much
it here? I
better.
thought you were going to play it over the thing.
So much better.
Oh, I'm going
I'm
to.
gonna play it over the
We
thing.
heard the tinny. I heard
terrible.
I wonder how
Yeah.
far this
Yeah.
have the echo.
This is terrible. Stop.
I couldn't tell the difference.
It's definitely Friday.
I couldn't tell the difference between our actual voices and then the recorded.
right.
The
No,
playback.
That sounds great.
Yes. About now.
It sounds different on Facebook.
Sounds different
Oh, you
on
listened to it.
Facebook.
Are you hearing this?
I don't know what it's
Oh, I'm
supposed to
going
be
to.
sounding like, but
We
that
heard
does
the
sound
tinny.
pretty
I
good.
heard. I
Terrible.
wonder how.
Is that what I really sound like? I've never heard myself like that.
Sounds like there's like 30 people talking.
sounds like a crowd.
Oh my goodness. Good morning, Johnny Rooster.
You all right, Steve? Do we need to get the paddles?
Oh my goodness. Let's see how bad
I'm
it is.
almost in tears.
Are you hearing this?
I don't know what it's
Oh, I'm
supposed to
going
be
to.
sounding like, but that does sound pretty good. I
Terrible.
wonder how.
Yeah.
Is that what I really sound like? I've never heard myself like that.
Sounds like there's like 30 people.
Excuse me.
Oh man. Good day
Coffee's
today.
good this morning.
Yeah, it is.
I really needed that this morning.
Oh man. Good morning, Axe Media Group. Whoever's
Thanks
doing
for
that,
asking.
probably Jim.
Whew.
That's just crazy. You know, and that's
That-
chaos.
Yeah, now John
That's what you
Cockcroft,
call a
if you was here-
Friday morning funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Casual Fridays.
Too bad we don't have John along with us.
Coffee is so good.
You know what? I'd have to leave.
We're like on 3 different conversations at once right here.
I'd
We'd
have,
be in
I'd have to
trouble.
leave the room if Johnny was here.
Yeah, we would need the paddles for sure.
You'd hear,
Inter-
uh-oh,
We're gonna have to
studios.
intubate.
Oh,
What?
What'd you do?
Did you
Did you
have
drop
an
your
accident? Drop your thing.
He dropped his thing.
He dropped his thing.
my true wireless earbud here.
You
True.
dropped your thing. Oh man.
You know, there are a couple of things that you don't want to hear when you're in the hospital. And like, let's say you wake up during surgery. Uh-oh. I mean, that's something you want to hear.
Or something
What's
dropping.
that? That's another thing. Is that supposed to be there?
Did I do
Hey,
that?
Come here and take a look at this.
Yeah, you don't.
Things you wouldn't want to hear in an operating room.
Hey,
No.
now that sounds like something you'd hear on a talk show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's, is that the right color?
Oh no.
Is this supposed
Yeah.
to be bleeding that bad?
Is this? Hey, that looks pretty big to me.
Or if you hear him mispronounce like body part names, you know?
Or suction. Clamp it. Clamp it.
Yeah. Jed, clamp it.
They say actually a lot of the medical training is learning how not to react,
And
learning how to
actually-
react in a way that doesn't cause alarm.
Yeah, and be like, I'm gonna have to remove that asparagus. Instead of appendix, asparagus. When they hear that kind of stuff.
No.
What? Actually, they say, and I don't know if it was me, but they say that sometimes you can hear conversations, and I don't know if it's just all of a sudden in the recovery room, because when I'm out, it just seems like I've been out for 10 minutes, and I'm like, you guys done already? Oh yeah, you've been out for about an hour and a half.
I've done that one time, and I was under the knife for like 6 hours, and I was only supposed to be under there for like an hour and a half.
I was having my wisdom teeth out, and they had me on something, and I was coming out of it during the deal, and I could feel them prying back and forth in my tooth, and I started to, and they noticed that I was coming out of it.
I was wide awake for all of my wisdom teeth being pulled.
Wide awake.
Wide awake.
I had the gas.
I had the gas. It didn't put me out.
Right.
But I had a lot of numbing stuff, and it was almost like the best way I can explain it is when they're grabbing it and yanking on that tooth and stuff, you can feel the pressure. And I mean, they have to pull hard. Mm-hmm. It's like,
you know what?
Yeah.
And I had 3
shaking. They're pulling so hard.
I was in boot camp when they did this, and they said that there was 3 roots in my wisdom tooth, and that's why it took extra long to pull it. And I'm almost. You could see. They said you could see the tears, and I was like, yeah. And that's what it felt. The tugging is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Or the pressure.
Yeah. When I was younger, I had a tooth removed, and I have really long roots, so mine go really far down, and they don't expect it. I've never had a dentist get in there and pull a tooth and say, and not say, "Whoa, these are something different here."
Right.
So the unusually long roots, and so mine, you can, when they pull them, you can feel. You can hear, it's like when you bite down on a piece of ice and it makes that squeaking, cracking sound.
Oh yeah, I know.
You hear that as the roots are pulling away from the jaw. And
actually, that's a good way of saying that. A good way of thinking about that.
You have your roots are long enough. You could glue 2 of your teeth together with I don't know, what do they call that stuff? An acrylic, and then attach it to a stick, and you've got a fork. They're long enough, Yep. You guys just had that image in your head, and it probably seems pretty crazy, huh?
Yes.
A little bit.
I don't have any of those at my house, by the way. Don't worry about that. Just saying.
Phew.
Are you blushing?
No, I'm just I'm enjoying today. Today's a good day.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, I'm taking a breath. And she's like, take a breath.
Yeah. You were about to.
Steve Schultz says, I had wisdom teeth removed. That's why I'm not smart anymore.
Ha ha ha. That was good, Steve.
Compared to what, Steve?
Just compared to what?
Ooh.
Whoa.
The wind is howling.
You're about to.
Steve Schultz says, I had wisdom teeth removed. That's why I'm not smart anymore.
He had wisdom teeth removed. Oh, you cut it.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been where we've been as far as...
whenever we first started doing this here, Jay had the mixer by him, and we had to move it across the room because he kept doing that where it turns your voice up real high. And we would laugh so hard for we'd spend 2/3 of a show just laughing about that.
You know what would be really funny? You know that Squishy app, the Squishy Face app? Having us doing the morning drive with the Squishy app.
Can you?
If we used our phone, yeah.
I think that would be kind of fun.
But we wouldn't be able to go through our vMix software. Because I remember when we first started doing this in the garage, I didn't know that I had one of those little filters pushed, and everybody it was like bunny ears and Buck Bunny teeth or something.
Oh yeah, what do you call it? What do you call that app?
It was one of those apps. It was like the photo filter. Yeah. It's part of the deal on Facebook.
Yeah, I've seen those, and that's pretty cool. I mean, even if it's a 2-minute clip of us doing the morning drive like that, that would be actually hilarious.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. It'd be. I'd have to put a monitor up so we could see ourselves.
Yeah.
And I
Then
watched.
you really would have to get paddles for me.
Yeah.
I saw a picture this little girl took of herself on the bus, and it was obviously a public bus, and it was a bunny ear thing, and with the little bunny nose and stuff. And there's this guy in the background, and he is obviously not happy that day, and he's way back in the background, but it still caught him as well.
Oh no.
Just so funny. Because, you couldn't tell what she was doing. You couldn't tell what she was doing, but he was like glaring that way, and he was really mad looking. But he still had like bunny ears, and you could tell that he didn't know that he had bunny ears. It was funny.
Now that's funny when somebody unsuspectingly has something like that. That's funny. That's even.
And then there's this creepy app where they showed the video to their child when they're watching themselves, right? Mm-hmm. But on the video, it shows a spider coming out of his mouth and crawling up on his face. This little kid starts hitting himself. And then he'd look at it and it'd start crawling up towards his hair, and and then it disappeared.
I have seen that.
Don't scare your kids like that. I mean, at that age, it's going to mess them up.
Yeah, it is.
I had to ask my son's doctor whenever he was a baby. Is scaring him going to be a problem like later on in life? She goes, not for right now. No, I mean, get it out of your system while you can. Because, okay, you pick him up and you'd hold him up and then he'd just do this and he would go. And we just couldn't help ourselves. It was so cute. We didn't want to cause any long lasting.
Long term.
And I hope we didn't.
Which son?
Tanner.
I figured I was just going to say, I bet you it was Tanner.
Why do I have a alarm set for 8:32?
What's today? Friday. Oh,
That's an odd number.
That is an odd number.
wow. 8:32.
That's an odd number.
It's an odd number.
Odd number.
I don't know. That's weird. I have so many alarms set on here now because I've set one for every 3 hours.
I bet you I know why. Probably. Did you set your
eat every
alarm
3 hours.
because of your
I just saw you do
health program?
Oh, was it fun?
Yeah, it
funny?
was pretty funny.
The health program, is there a certain thing you're supposed to do at 8:32 according to your health program?
So what?
Huh?
Why am I leaning my ear in towards you? I've got headphones on. You need to get in front of the mic, sir.
You don't have to do
It's
that.
in front. I've got the
Here's what I was saying.
mic right in front of me.
As I
Right.
was talking about like this is how you're talking right there, and that's why
Oh.
I'm like, huh?
Oh, is that why you did it?
Yeah. Now, what were you saying about what?
Okay. Where was you? Thanks.
Something about my eating every 3 hours.
8:32. Is there something in your health program
No.
that has you? Okay.
I don't know why I'm saying doing this.
You're exercising.
Yeah, gotta exercise.
See, Mike, he's exercising. He's doing
So,
great.
could you imagine having to talk like this the whole time?
Yeah.
How you doing there, Steve?
I can imagine it. I can imagine it. It's happened.
We got a bunch. These are our clown noses.
Clown noses.
Hello.
If they were
This is
ready.
my
Walt
clown
Justice,
nose.
welcome to the party. We're being absolutely goofy on the show this morning because, hey, this world has gone nuts. You got
Yes.
bad stuff happening like
Mine's really going to be nutty next
in
week.
Minneapolis,
Good
or
night.
lack thereof.
Minneapolis.
Yeah,
What
the
about
riots,
Minneapolis?
the riots in Minneapolis.
I didn't know
That's
they were
getting out of
having
hand.
Any
Yeah, they have
riots
been
in
rioting
Minneapolis.
all night, and apparently they've been burning buildings, and
They
somebody
burned
has
an
gotten
auto
killed.
zone completely down. They burned.
They've caught the police department on fire, from what I heard. I haven't watched these videos because I have an issue with
Anxiety.
anxiety, and I figured, and I
That's
you
the
know,
last
I
What's
thing
it
you want to
about?
watch.
Why are they having?
that officer that killed that guy, supposedly unintentionally because he had his knee on the guy's.
Even after he was
the guy was on the
unconscious.
ground, and like this, and his head was this way, and the guy's knee was right here on the back. And apparently somebody, they could hear the audio. Someone said, "Hey, that's like a judo move, right? You're cutting off his air."
And he says, I can't breathe. And then he was,
See, I
he went
can't watch this stuff.
unconscious. Even an officer came over and checked his pulse and just kind of bent down, got up and left.
There's a lot of people messed up in that. The officers should be in jail.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd like to see the first interaction with the suspect.
yeah. From what? Well, see, because I avoided
See,
watching
that's
it.
the only thing I
From what
haven't
I've been
seen.
told, he very clearly is cooperating.
Oh,
Yes.
is he?
Yes.
Yeah, he is. He's very
He's very
cooperative.
clearly cooperating, you know, if I watch that, and here's what gives me the anxiety. All right, so I'm an empathetic person. I feel what people feel. I imagine it, and it's like it's happening to me, right? And then I have so much sympathy for that person that's going through that because of what they have to go through. I don't know. That's the best way I can explain it. And then that causes me anxiety and depression and stuff like that. So I could have watched the video numerous times, but I don't. I choose not to because I'm getting over all that stuff.
How
And
many police officers were involved?
well, there's a picture of it. There's like 5 police officers there,
and
4 or 5.
And one, I don't want to say Asian because I'm not sure which. He was either Asian or China. Anyway, he just stood there while the other guy had his knee on
On the guy's neck.
on the guy's neck. He just stood there and everybody's
saw
yelling
that
at
picture.
him and yelling at him. And he just stood there and just didn't say nothing until near the end. He just like, well, back off. That's all. Basically, he didn't try to stop or he just was like frozen. It's almost like he just didn't care.
Yeah.
I would like to see it from the very beginning, but still, if he's cooperating, they brought him to the point where he had gone from combatant to cooperative, that's when the level of force has got to change.
He's up. Well, I think
What happened?
if-
Oh my goodness! But
if
and
what
why
I've been told- and
5 or 6 officers?
like 4 or 5 officers.
Who's
I-
hiring these officers?
Somebody that's drunk.
Minneapolis.
I don't know.
Minneapolis.
Well, somebody's not hiring the right officers. that's
There's a
for
lot of
sure.
stuff
If
going
5
on
of
in
them are
Minnesota
doing
right
it.
now.
Yeah.
Is
Besides
Minnesota the one that's wanting their governor kicked out or whatever? That place is nuts.
Well, no, I think it's Michigan.
Oh, that's Michigan? I was
Yeah.
going to say build a wall around Minnesota or Minneapolis or wherever and make them pay for it. Just kidding. Sorry, I
So
had
we
to throw
need-
that there.
More walls.
Wow.
But, yeah.
That was deep.
Because walls don't ever separate people, right?
No.
I mean, it worked out great for Germany.
Yeah.
Obviously did not work out good for Germany, but
No, because it eventually
But-
came down.
let's pray for the family of the person who died and the people who are getting injured in
The
all of this.
state,
The
and then the
Floyd-
backlash against the good officers, if they even have any good officers.
Yeah.
Who's hiring officers where you've got 5 officers brutalizing somebody who's cooperative and none of them intervene?
Right.
Who's
that's-
hiring these people? Because that's who needs to be fired and charged. They're obviously looking for a certain type of person
Yeah.
in order for 5 of them to be in the same place abusing
And
somebody.
that's what the whole thing is yeah, you can fire them, but that's not going to do any justice. They want them in jail. Why aren't they in jail?
Well, I mean, they also have a right to due process just like we do.
Right.
Yeah, well, they do.
But they
But
should
still, that's where you hold people
mean-
who are being charged with a crime.
I'm sure they have been fired. But firing
Yeah,
is
they
not
were.
enough. They do need to be prosecuted. I think it needs to be looked into. There needs to be
And that's what President Trump
internal
said.
affairs investigations.
President Trump is having the Attorney General and somebody else looking heavily into that death of Mr. Floyd. Is it
I don't know
is it
his
Floyd
name.
his first name?
I don't know, but I think there's also some things we don't know. If it's not the whole video from first contact to the end, we don't know. This guy could have had a confrontation with one officer. That officer, he fought with that officer. More officers arrived. He submitted. Then as they eased up, he went back to fighting. You know what I mean? We
don't
know the whole
Unless we actually
circumstances.
watch the video
And
from
that's-
start to finish.
And
Yeah.
that's what those people that are rioting, that's what they need to see. They need to see from
And his
the
color
beginning to
doesn't
end.
matter.
Right.
In my opinion,
No.
the color of the person doesn't matter in that case. I think it just they're a person. We are all
Yeah.
human beings. We all have feelings. We all bleed red.
Families,
Families
probably children.
love people. Have people who love us.
But see another
Skin
video,
color's a formality.
right. Another video surfaced where a cop or police officer, I shouldn't say cop, but police officer was on a kid, and I think he was black, and he was punching him in the face.
Yeah. See, no, that's very inappropriate.
Why do that though?
A bit. It's a high tension job.
And I don't know. No,
I still support police. I'm all for.
I do too.
I'm all for back in the blue. But
I
you
got
know,
friends in the force.
I think where police officers are supposed to lead from example, whenever they break the law, I think the punishment should be more stern for them, because they're expected to enforce that law, and then they're going to break it. I think the punishment should be harsher, and that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Just like the punishment for us, like as leaders in the church, we are going to be held even more accountable for our actions, since we are ministers.
Yeah.
We're going to be held accountable for.
So imagine this, though. Imagine this. You work in a call center, right?
Right.
Your job in the call center is that whenever somebody calls and has a problem, that the initial customer service employee can't solve, that the person has become upset and asked for somebody else.
You escalate.
Imagine if your job is to always be that somebody else. So your initial contact with every customer is that they're upset, they want something done now, they're tired of explaining, they've already said it 10 times. You know what I mean? Imagine that's the kind of contact you have for a living. How much of that can you take before you start to react to it negatively?
Yeah.
And I mean inappropriately negative. I'm not justifying it. But there's certainly got to be some understanding of how much of that kind of contact with the public a person can have before they start. And a person have to have a certain amount of integrity and a certain amount of integrity. You know, but there's got to be a certain level of psychological breakdown where at some point things are going to go wrong because you just can't take it anymore.
Right.
And how do we determine when that is? And what about also when a community at large, say Philadelphia, starts to have a negative perspective and interaction with the police, and so they see somebody in uniform and their treatment of that person becomes a way of venting their frustrations with the ones that they've seen that they're frustrated with. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah,
now
yeah.
that people have seen this video and these 5 officers, every time they see an officer,
they're going to think
they're
immediately
going
think of
to
that.
treat that person as though they're one of them. And so now imagine the dynamics of that type of profession. So you've got to go to work, you got to pay your bills, you got to feed your family. I mean, that's what you do. That's your job.
Yeah.
So now when a whole community starts to get into this negative spiral down, it's not going to get better. How do we have a system where these people can be relieved from that environment and still have a job? And you know what I mean? And what does it take to maintain? Because no matter how much self-control you have and no matter how much dignity you have,
You're not infallible like that.
yeah, you can only take so much. There's a point where you say, you know what, look, I'm tired of this. I mean, I've felt like telling people, look, I'm 50 years old, and if you think a 50-year-old guy who's ended up a cashier at Come and Go is really into taking a bunch of crap from you, you've made a mistake. Because I've already had it with you.
I love how you said
need
that.
to go away. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you had that issue with the kid when you worked for.
And I'm a pretty
That
patient.
restaurant.
My coworkers tell me, look, you know, you're pretty patient. You're a kill 'em with kindness kind of guy. So I have people who are really rude and really cruel and really awful all the time, and I try to be kind to them anyway. But there's sometimes, like with the outside stress of the COVID situation, dealing with the stress of customers who are losing their jobs, or all of a sudden their kids are out of school and they can't go to work because they have to take care of kids or find a full-time babysitter for 5 kids. You know, we face those people. We serve them daily. We're their regular go-to place, so we see them. And those stresses build on you, and they add up. And I found myself starting to act in a way that wasn't part of my character, or at least wasn't part of how I wanted to react. You know, it's not
Right.
something I see as right. So how do we manage these types of situations where an entire community is starting to build a stress between people in a profession such as policing And how do we rotate them out in a way that they can be removed and put into a different environment, still doing their job, but not one where they're being seen by everybody they encounter as a criminal?
Right.
Does that make sense? Am I?
Yeah. No,
yeah.
you're making a lot of sense.
And you know they.
And where do you bring them in from to replace them for the time being?
See, I worked in a call center too, and there's actually a department called escalations.
Yeah.
Their job is to deal with people who are already at that point. And I used to be really good at calming those folks down because,
Right.
you know,
I've worked in call center
I'm a
myself.
goofball. So, but yeah, people do get crazy, and really, I mean, I really don't even know if there's a system that is even possible to be able to tell if these people. I think they should have regular psychological evals.
Yeah.
Possibly more days off.
I think maybe in some way there ought to
Morning,
be
Jessica.
like a National
Batson?
Guard type force that's a police force, a national or a state guard, maybe a state guard, but a group of men and women who are trained in the policing of a certain state or local place, that they have a resource to pull people from, so that those because now we have a tinderbox.
Yeah.
The community.
It's
The
explosive.
community is ready
It's already
to
blown up.
attack the police force, right? And so how do the police force still do their job and police, because the criminals are still out there doing criminal things? Trust me.
Yeah, it's a nightmare to
taking
even
advantage
think
of
about.
this.
It's a nightmare to because people see they see a bunch of other people being violent and stuff, and I can do that too, and then they go and they steal all this stuff.
Or any bad interaction that
Any bad
anybody
interaction.
sees happening between an officer and an actual criminal.
Right.
You know, what happens when you now with this tinderbox ready to ignite? You're an officer. You're or a detective. You're hunting down an actual murderer.
Right.
Who you have him on video killing somebody with malice, not even manslaughter, but actual murderer.
Yeah.
You go to arrest that person, they resist. There's a chance that in this community, with it being a tinderbox like it is, there's a chance that you could be attacked by the public
Yeah.
Yes.
in defense of a murderer.
Yep. That's true.
But because
So how do you now be a police officer and actually police this community?
Well,
Good
let's
morning,
pray for those
Brian.
police officers.
Pay for this entire community.
Yeah, pray for everybody over there because we had a situation like that at Ferguson,
Yep.
and in that situation, they didn't tell you that the kid tried to grab his gun, and he shot the guy's thumb off, and he still came after him. You know, and he
They're
had
not gonna
just
tell
he
you
had just
that.
stolen. He had just basically. I think they just. From what I understand, he had just robbed a place or stole
At
from them.
gunpoint or
it was
something.
a drugstore or something.
Oh no,
No, it
that's
was a
right.
convenience store.
He tried. Was that the one where he tried to trade marijuana for some products
I don't
At the
have. I don't
store?
know that.
or something? I can't
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But it was there was more to the story, you know.
Right.
And
And I don't want to get into all that hypothetical. I'm saying we've got a we need a system where, like the reserves, you have a group of officers, men and women, who serve the community as police every weekend, so they're trained and they're not rusty
right,
or inexperienced.
but they're
getting
also not
regular.
in it every single day.
Yeah, one weekend a month they come out and they join the police force, and so they're always ready.
Yeah.
They're always ready.
Well,
and
there is an
sharp.
officer. There are a lot of places have an officer reserve force,
Yeah,
which are officers that are just called in when they need.
but one large enough to police a community this large and
Yeah.
this inflamed.
Yeah.
And now they have resource officers in schools.
Oh, they've had that for ever since the Columbine incident.
Oh, not some schools now. The schools that I know
Even
of-
us in Willard
Oh yeah, that's true because
back in 96, 97, we started after the Columbine incident happened.
I
or
guess
the
I just
tragedy,
noticed it.
I would say, they immediately put a
Resource.
resource officer in there, and he got under some heat because he made a couple of takedowns that seemed a bit upset. A bit what do you call that? Like excessive.
Force.
Excessive. Yeah, I mean these are kids. They're not actual full-grown adults. Some of them are. Some of them are football players and stuff. But and when you get a chance to talk to a police officer, just visit with them.
We serve them at my work, and they are really respectable,
don't make the assumption that all officers are bad just because of what a few of them do, because a lot of them are out there not just to make a living, but actually to help the community. 'Cause, I
Right.
mean,
They're community service officers.
who in their right mind thinks I want to be a police officer, go out and have the potential of getting shot every day?
Yeah, and
They
at
do
a
it
time
because
like this,
They feel they are doing a service to mankind by protecting people.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
think of the wives, or whether they're police women or policemen. Just think of their spouses and their kids, if they're old enough, whether they're going to see their dad coming back home or mom.
or they have some sweat in the game, like after 9/11, where a bunch of people joined the military, right? You have
Exactly.
the same thing. A lot of people join the police force because they are victims of crimes and don't want to see somebody else suffer that same thing.
Right.
You know, and who actually have sweat in the game. They are.
And those are empathetic people.
Yes. So yeah, this community really does need prayer, and not only that, but the nation and similar communities where they might be ready to be they might be already agitated, and there's something brewing under the
There's a
surface.
lot of injustice going on.
Yeah.
Morning,
Yeah.
Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy Lee, how you doing?
I'm really surprised that 5 police officers were in the same proximity,
And they didn't stop him.
that they didn't somehow intervene and say, whoa, this is going too far.
Somebody said apparently the audio, one of the officers did tell him, that's like a Aikido move or a judo move or whatever.
Oh, you
Martial
mean
art it is.
we're going back to
Said-
Minneapolis?
Yeah. Said, that's.
I did hear that.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, there is one. There
Well,
was
like
one
a
guy.
referee. I mean,
Hey, bro.
Yeah, and why can't an officer be like a referee? You know what happens in a fight when a referee has to intervene? They tackle the guy that's
Yeah,
out of control, and that's
absolutely.
the appropriate thing to do.
Right.
That's
Yes.
and not only that, but if the fighter fights back against the referee, what happens? As soon as the referee has to actually tackle a fighter, other people are moving to respond immediately.
Yeah,
they know that if this trained fighter starts beating this referee,
And that
Yeah.
has happened.
but
they're going to need help.
There are some referees that.
Need it.
No, there are some
Oh.
referees that are not worried about it. Let's just say.
Yeah.
I've seen referees take people down and put them in submission holds before, and that's pretty funny. But that's,
I'm saying I don't have enough information about this,
yeah.
but also I understand, having been around criminal people
Steve says there
in
were
my
4
lifetime,
officers.
you do not want the police force to suddenly feel like doing their job and policing the community the way they are supposed to is something they can't do.
Right.
Because once criminals get the feeling that they're going to be protected by their own community, they start to feel like,
They can do whatever they want.
They do whatever they
They're
want.
more free to do what they want.
and then victims of crime become even more victimized, because what do? Call the police?
And the police are like, I'm not going out there.
Or yeah,
Exactly.
or just knowing, do you want your whole neighborhood to be in a riot because you reported a crime that was committed against you and somebody has to be arrested?
There are no happy endings to this particular story.
No.
There are. I think there are. I think
mean,
having the right,
right.
police,
They're at the right time.
Well, when
having the
another-
right police there now.
Well, when another officer just stands there and lets the other and doesn't even turn around and respond to the person, especially if the person on the ground that's got the knee out loses conscious and they're just there and then the knee is still on the neck and the other officer's not doing anything except for another one checking the pulse, getting up and leaving. That's where it's wrong, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, the whole video is really important.
So, I'm going to do a change of subject.
Yeah.
That's
For
a
a
good
little bit.
idea.
Because, I overthink things a lot.
Me too.
And I feel for people on both sides. I can put myself in both situations, and it's a powder keg out there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's pray for. We'll be praying for that family, the family of the person who lost them, and pray for that community and the people that are being victimized now just because of what somebody else had done. Let's pray for those that the Lord reveal Himself to those that feel that they can just go out and be violent and do whatever they want now because of this and use it as an excuse. pray for everybody there. You have the hand of the enemy is in all of this. I mean,
True.
just face it. All good things come from God. What does that leave? All bad things come from us and the devil, and our sin.
We're pretty bad on our own.
Yeah.
We don't really need the excuse of the devil, though he is there, and so is his.
Oh, it's not an
minions
excuse.
doing his work.
Yeah, because there was one comedian that used to say the devil made me do it whenever he would get arrested or whatever. No, the devil didn't make you do it. It's not hard for them. If we don't make the decision ourselves to misbehave and sin, it's not hard for us to get pushed into it.
Right.
Why is it important to know right and wrong and know the law? Because it's in our nature to act in such a way that would not follow that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't need to know it. It would be natural.
It's time for us to get out of here.
You know? There's
See how much fun we've had?
Yeah.
Well, except for the subject we've
Well,
been
I
on.
mean, this
Yeah.
need to be talked about, and I think we got a lot of stuff out there today. Be sure that you, if you have any questions or comments or anything, PearsonMatthew622@gmail.com. Let us know, or just send us messages on Facebook. That being
Do
said,
you want to remind everybody about next week?
yeah, next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll be having the telethon. Next Friday will be the auction. So look forward to that. And we'll talk to you more about it as the week goes on next week. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the Morning Drive today. It's been a blast. Hope you have a great Friday. We'll be back on Monday, same time, same channel. Be sure and tune in next for The Morning Mouth with Johnny Rooster and Pastor Matt, myself. That's a pre-recorded video that we've been doing. And then after that, followed by The Happy Hour with Dr. Paul and Nancy Collins.
Yay!
So until then, my friends, may God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt,
My name is Jay.
My name is Steve.
and this has been The Morning Drive.